Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Late Night Sprites. It's been a little bit. It's been about a month, and I think it's time for a brand new game. And by new game, I mean one that came out at the end of last year. That's right, I'm talking about DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing. You can play as Shrek. You can play as Kung Fu Panda. You can play as the boss, baby. So, when I first saw this game, I was kinda interested, but there was no way I was gonna get it for $40. But then I saw it on sale for $11, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give this a try. And then I was sad, because I found out that the Death Wolf from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and the Master Oogway from Kung Fu Panda were locked behind $15 DLC, and I actually really wanted to play as Master Oogway, but I guess not today. But you're going to see the different characters I'm going to be trying. But in this game, you race around a lot of tracks based on various movies, whether it's Madagascar, How to Train Your Dragon, Shrek. Shrek gets the most representation. Unfortunately, there's no tracks for B-movie, but Trolls is also here, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Bad Guys, so they even have some of the movies from 2022 in there, which was really cool. I mean, I'm happy that The Bad Guys and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish got representation because they're both really good movies, but you start with only a few racers and you do challenges and such to unlock these racers as you go through various tracks. Whether it's Shrek Swamp, or Far Far Away, or the Panda Village, or Gongmin City from Kung Fu Panda 2. So many different locations from the DreamWorks world. And you have these different items. You are first of all given a troll that races on your car, and the troll, you collect music notes on the track, and the troll gives you like this special boost, or it's like a secondary item almost. And then there are the items as well that you can get. You can drift, you can jump and do tricks, and all of the tracks also have these like secret pathways. So there's like, every track is, I don't want to necessarily say expansive, but the tracks aren't bare bones either, because there are like shortcuts you can do. But yeah, you got items, you have these like trolls that you collect music notes for, and you got your ability to drift and do tricks and such. Now, I had to play as some of my favorites, so as you see in the footage here, I play as Puss in Boots because he is my favorite fearless hero, and Kung Fu Panda because Kung Fu Panda is some of my favorite movies of all time. And I will say that the track selection is nice, but there's a few problems with this game. First of all, I ran into a fair amount of glitches. I found myself falling through the floor or flying off the track sometimes. I found things not necessarily working the best. So sometimes I ran into glitches, and it's really funny when you fall off the track. The Lakitu equivalent in this game is the DreamWorks kid that's like fishing off of the moon, but he's not a full 3D model. The DreamWorks kid on the moon is just like a static PNG, and I find that hilarious. This was made by Game Mill Entertainment, who is the current king of licensed games, whether it is the upcoming Looney Tunes sports game that was announced in that Nintendo Direct, or perhaps Nick All-Stars Brawl 1 and 2, all of the Nick kart racers, and the King Kong game. So Game Mill has made a couple games that people like, because Nick All-Stars Brawl 1 and 2 are pretty favorable. But how does this one stack up? Well, this is definitely a Mario Kart clone, and it is definitely not the best one. It feels like a licensed PS2 game, and not the kind that you have fond childhood memories of. The kind that you played at your friend's house, and by friend I mean person who you wanted to be your friend, and then they hand you the Mad Catz controller, and everything goes downhill from there, and then they offer you a juice pouch, and you're like, hey, thank you, and then you realize that they went through all the good flavors of the juice pouches, and they're giving you like the fruit punch one in the variety pack, and it's not a good afternoon. It's not a Disney afternoon. It is not a very good afternoon at all. It's not fun. But DreamWorks Kart is a budget kart racer. This is not the kind of kart racer that you boot up and play with friends and family unless you want a good laugh. At a cheap price, and I mean cheap price, at a budget, this is worth it. Like, I paid $11. I feel like I got my $11 worth. I raced on all the tracks. There is online and there is challenges that you can do that I did not show off in this video, but you can like do time trials and you can do these challenges to unlock characters like Other Boss Baby, you know, from the beloved DreamWorks franchise, The Boss Baby. Everyone's absolute favorite. But that's how you unlock characters, or you play through the Grand Prix on its varying difficulties. I found myself just playing through the Grand Prix, and you have multiple cups. You have the Dragon Warrior Cup, you have the Viking Cup, you have the Alec Baldwin Toddler Cup, you have the Once Upon a Time Cup, which is the Shrek one, which might end up being my favorite, and then you have the Last Wish Cup for your favorite fearless hero. Who is your favorite? Okay, I'm sorry. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is just like one of my absolute favorite animated movies now of all time. Like, they did not need to go that hard for a Puss in Boots sequel and make it that funny and that heartwarming and that mature. Like, they really didn't. But yeah, so this is a budget kart racer, and if you want something to break out when you're with your friends, it could be good for a laugh, because I own a few licensed games and shovelware games that aren't necessarily for me, but when my friends want to hang out, it's fun to break them out. Like, for example, I have Totally Spies Totally Party for the Wii. Yes, that's a game, alright. It's a game, and me and my friends have played it, and there's fun to be had with that. Sometimes it's fun to just get together and break out a bad video game or a game that isn't the best and make jokes and laugh at it and have fun, as long as it doesn't go on for too long. So definitely, like, this is just a budget Mario Kart. It is a budget Mario Kart, and when it comes to kart racers, if you love Mario Kart and you want another kart racer and you love DreamWorks, maybe wait for a sequel. I have a gut feeling that they will make a sequel, because Game Mill loves making their sequels, whether it was to the Nick Kart Racing or for the Nick All-Stars Brawl, and I think we'll get another one. This game is fully voice acted by some people who are, how do I phrase this? It's not their fault. It is not their fault. They came in and they voice acted for the characters, whether it was Poe or Shrek or Donkey, and that's fine. I think voice actors are awesome, and people who are willing to do sound-alike work, you know what? You are valid. You are a valid voice actor. But there is a meter in this game where you can turn down the voices. Definitely do that, because this game has some chatty Cathys in it. Like, they are talking and every character is making noises every like 30 seconds. Like, Poe, if you do a jump, Poe is like super excited about it every time. Poe just hit the lottery. And then you do another jump and he forgot he won the lottery, but then he remembers he won the lottery again. And then you do a third jump and it's like he never won the lottery before and he didn't realize that he won the lottery, so he won it again and he was super excited. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here like, Poe, I know you're super excited about making that jump, man, but you need to make like 5 more in this like bad guy stage. And there's also these like collectible artifacts. It's like, I get the challenges, I get the shortcuts, I get the stuff to make it stand out, and every character gets their own unique cars, whereas some characters get cars that like make sense. Like Princess Fiona has like this car based on the Onion Carriage, Poe has one based off of Mr. Ping's like food stand, Master Shifu has one based off of the Golden Temple, Boss Baby has a cop car. We're just gonna leave that one. We're just gonna leave that one. But every character has their own car. Obviously, Nick Wolf has the car from the bad guys, although me personally, I prefer the name that the bad guys has in Germany. In Germany, it's called the Gangster Gang, and that is just the most goated title ever in this game. But every character has a lot to say, and if you feel like you can't pick up all of that award-winning, Oscar-worthy dialogue, don't you worry. You can always turn on subtitles so that those can be right there, right on the screen while you are racing. And you can get such hit subtitles like, "Whoa! Watch out, Shrek! Oh, take that, Puss in Boots!" The items are really funny because the items are very much DreamWorks memorabilia. A lot of the items are very Shrek heavy. You have Fairy Godmother's magic wand. You have Puss in Boots' boot. You have Jack Horner's bag from Last Wish that he had all of the fairy tale artifacts in. So you have that as well. And I just think it's like really funny that they have very equivalent like Mario Kart items, because like the Jack Horner bag lets you use I think like 3 or 4 items, so that's like the Crazy 8 from Mario Kart. The poison apples, once again from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This game loves Shrek. Why didn't they just make Shrek Kart Racer? You could have played as Fairy Godmother. You could have been racing through Far, Far Away as holding out for a hero. Oh wait, no, I don't know if they would have paid for that. But it's funny because there's also a lot of visual details in some of these tracks. Like when you race through Far, Far Away, there's the giant Cookie Man. The giant Cookie Man from Shrek 2 is like in the background, and that's really cool. And like in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish stage, you race through the cave, the cave that had all of his past lives in it, and like the bit where it also has like a bottomless pit, and then you race on the wishing star and you race through the forest, and that's like really cool. I think they should make another one, because like Nick All-Stars Brawl, which who knows, maybe I'll make a video on that at some point. Indie games and licensed games, my specialty. Indie games, retro games, and licensed games, especially the modern ones. I mean, someone out there needs to make a video about Inspector Gadget Party, I guess. But with this DreamWorks Kart Racer, I think a sequel could improve on it greatly. Don't have the characters talk every 30 seconds, or at least have an ability to turn it like down or completely off, or like reduce the number of times the character says something. Definitely maybe make sure that there are less glitches, and also just keep reaching into the DreamWorks well. You know, we didn't have any over the hedge representation. We didn't have any flushed away representation. We didn't have the B movie. I can't believe we did not have Barry B. Benson in a car, because this game definitely wants to capitalize on the popularity of some of these DreamWorks IPs. Like, you have so much Shrek representation and a lot of Kung Fu Panda representation. I would say How to Train Your Dragon gets a lot, but then also Boss Baby and Trolls. Make Ruby Gillman a racer. Her movie was so middle of the road. The Ruby Gillman movie was fine. I know it's like the lowest grossing like DreamWorks movie ever, but let Ruby Gillman be a racer, or put in the Road to El Dorado guys. Put those two in there. Like there are some DreamWorks stuff that you can definitely like reach into that I think would be like really cool, and I think they could improve, maybe make the game a little bit more balanced, maybe add like a single player campaign, because I just ended up doing all the Grand Prix and I consider the game beaten. I wasn't gonna do all of the challenges and race all of the ghosts, and I didn't try doing online, and maybe I should have, but I did a couple challenges and I was like, I am not going to do all of these for the sake of unlocking every character, such as beloved characters from hit franchises like Trolls, you know, everyone's favorites, and it's not even like do one challenge. It reminded me of Mario Kart DS's challenge mode, and I think that's the funny thing about DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing is that this game takes a little bit from a lot of games, like the tricks from Mario Kart 8 and some of the item inspiration, the challenges from Mario Kart DS, and the like customizable vehicles that a lot of kart racing games like doing now. So you get like stats and stuff like that. And I raced in a lot of different cars with a lot of different stats, and I felt no difference between any cars handling, speed, or top speed. I guess the music notes are like coins, but they give you a secondary item instead of increasing your top speed. There's lots of items to use. If you can get this at a super cheap price and you love making memes about DreamWorks and you want to race as Puss in Boots or race in a car as Donkey, I don't even know how he can drive. He doesn't have hands, and he's like your tutorial. Like, Shrek helps you through your tutorial, and you play as Donkey. And I knew from that moment on that that game was going to be special with the dialogue and with the way the tutorial controlled, and the fact that even though I don't have footage of it, the fact that I had like a couple glitches during the tutorial. If you can find this for super cheap and get some good laughs out of it, it's on like every modern console, but again, I wouldn't pay any more than $10 or $11 for this, especially because they also have a $15 DLC pack, which I did not invest in. But thank you so much for watching this episode of Late Night Sprites. If you want another video, I looked at that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Raw Thrills game, and you can definitely watch that, but I also upload a ton of shorts all the time. Until the next Late Night Sprites episode, thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourself, take care of your mental health. I am Homecoming Hero, and I will see you on the next episode of Late Night Sprites.